is it? Witches gathered in the masses. Order Magard slain masses. People hiding in the sewers. Preceding dead rats and urns. I guess it's the same wherever you may go. Oh, Lord, yeah. Alrighty. So there we go. There's a little sneak peek there. Turn this music off if the mouse will allow me to. Come on, you can do it. It's not hard to click. Here we go. Where's the music now? Come on. You can do it. It's technology stubborn. Come on. There we go. Takes like a minute just to turn the music off. Alright, let's turn the sound on here. If the mouse will allow.
I'm taking it a bit far.
Oh, there we go. So, I gotta read anything first. Not really. I'll read about Magog later. So I'm gonna go over this video because I've already screened it, and allegedly YouTube doesn't have a problem with it if I wanted to upload it by itself. So I can play the audio and stop it at various points and say things. So this is a ceremony that happened in, I think in England. It was all the grand lodges of England all met or something. Because, you know, the queen probably didn't feel good, or maybe she was already gone, and they just didn't tell anybody, and they had to have this big meeting, and it was initiated. Well, Rothschild, I think it's Jacob Rothschild. I'm not sure which one it is. But I think it says it, or maybe it's Edward Rothschild. Someone. You'll see. Let me just play this. So that's Prince Edward, decorated and everything, all his Freemasonic rewards and anything else. Prince Edward, and they're singing God Save the Queen. This is what all these Freemasons sing in this ceremony, 2017. And is this the Freemasons' influence in history? They just show you everything because this is an actual Freemason meeting that happened. And they're gonna have parts where they're acting, doing theater, because theater is part of their whole Babylonian Enlightenment. You have to have quick eyes to see. And now the eyes closed once it's all done, see? They blind you. Saying, remember George Washington's Freemason, first president. Allegedly first president.
I hold that to be self-evident, Brother Franklin. All men are created equal. Indeed, Brother Washington. All Freemasons meet as equals.
All Freemasons meet as equals. Feel free to tell me if it's a little loud. I turned it down a little bit. So it says at some point in this video, a quote, that anybody who disregards the Freemasons' ancient tradition is not worthy to be called a man. So that whole maritime amnesty law where they want you to tell the court that you're a living man, you're going along with their stuff. You have to transcend even that, and you're a living being created by Most High Elohim, meant to become one and go to paradise. You can say you're a living being. And once you say man, man was actually a Germanic god, but man just means what is like people. So it's like a man who is as powerful as many people. That's what a mighty man actually means. So he said all people are created equal. He goes, all Freemasons meet as equals. You see how you're seeing the Hitler type, the Stalin type, the whatever leader they make, in this case Washington, and he's the one that's supposed to be like innocent, like, oh, I don't tell a lie, blah blah blah. He's the white hat. And then you have the black hat is Franklin, who's like, yeah, Freemasons are equals.
And we have an opportunity to create a nation in the very essence of Masonic morality. It would be wonderfully symbolic, don't you think?
You'll be wanting to put the all-seeing eye on our banknotes next.
Oh, that's so funny.
You think I'm taking it a bit far?
Please don't ask me questions like that, Brother Franklin. You know I cannot tell a lie.
Oh, come on, Brother Washington. Everybody lies occasionally, surely, especially politicians.
Not me. Not even so much as an alternative fact.
So lame.
We must all be aware of fake news.
It's funny when he makes that face, he actually looks like, if you're able to zoom in, Alex Jones and Bill Hicks. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. This face he makes. I don't know how to describe it. It just reminds me of Alex Jones and Bill Hicks. Because they're theater people, obviously. Let me try to make this small again. All Freemasons mean as equals. Isn't that nice? Okay.
The people must be free to think what they like as well. We can have no thought police in our new society. The foundation stone of our new nation built on all those principles that we hold dear.
The plans for our new capital city already have a very Masonic feel to them, yeah.
Candidate for initiation.
What's funny is the little square they had in the corner showing you the pentagram and the compass. It was something from Fox News. Fox News will tell you. It's hilarious.
Into the order. I'm giving them a little introduction into some of our mysteries.
And you see, the reason why they make this public like this is because you're the initiate in their eyes. And they're showing you all of what they claim is the truth, just like Satan claiming that he owned all those nations and can give them to who he wills. This is literally these people taking everybody who's left up to a high mountain and showing them all the glory of the nations and saying, I offer this to you if you bow to me. And you'll see this in the ceremony. That's why they're showing it to you.
These two gentlemen are founding an entire nation built on our principles.
Principalities.
We have great promises for our new nation. You know, I wonder if other presidents after me will also be Freemasons.
Many will be.
Oh, man. It says 32% of presidents were officially Freemason. That means others could have just not disclosed it, which is their right in Freemasonry, in the rules. They're showing you all the presidents.
And Freemasonry will become embedded in the American culture. And the eye will appear on the banknotes.
Oh, God.
These principles will be honored with a gift from your French brethren. A gift that will be a welcoming beacon to the poor and oppressed.
This is the statue we are giving you.
It's just telling you, look at, there's Ham. Oh man. There's the Amalekite right there. It's Amalek. Amalek giving you the statue of Helios, covering up his private parts so he can pretend he's Liberty, the female Liberty.
It's a bit small, isn't it?
Oh, this is a maquette. The real thing is bigger. Much, much bigger.
America will produce a great many great Americans from many different walks of life and many different fields, and many will be Masons.
You see how it's the false prophet? They actually build to it, and then when it's done, they act like they've always been in control, when they're always in chaos until it's done. And then they tell you, oh, it's always been our control. We just prophesied it all. Look.
Sportsmen, actors,
This is showing
writers,
clips of movies.
soldiers, filmmakers,
So these are real filmmakers and soldiers and everything who are Freemasons.
inventors,
The person who made this video put that in there.
astronauts.
Astronauts.
What on earth is an astronaut?
No, they're not.
I don't follow.
Well, they're not on Earth, they're in space. In fact, Brother Buzz Aldrin was the second man to walk upon the surface of the moon.
That's the best thing I've heard this evening.
See, isn't it interesting how they even make it how Washington is supposed to be Neil Armstrong and Franklin is Buzz Aldrin? Notice how it's brother Franklin, but they don't talk about Neil Armstrong. And he's the guy who like basically looks like Darren from Bewitched. He's literally Darren from Bewitched. And that creepy guy who made the robot girl. Small Wonder, I think that's what that show is called. That was a really, really, really weird show. That's what Neil Armstrong reminds me of. Just like he went along with it because he was a coward. But he was like the Washington and Buzz Aldrin was the Franklin. You know.
That a Mason walked on the moon.
Man on the moon. Amazing. But don't forget the musicians. Do not forget the musicians.
Oh, look at that. Good Lord. That was Hecate incarnate. You see that? It says, if one delights not in this teaching, he is unworthy of the name of man. Do you understand? Then all these people want to go on the internet thinking they know something. They're like, make sure when you go to court, where you're underneath the all-seeing eye, and all this stuff, tell the judge you're a living man, and he'll let you off. It's a weird thing to say, unless you're a Mason. But anyway.
Authoritarian and totalitarian regimes continue to suppress Freemasonry, afraid of its strong heritage of liberty and equality.
You see how Freemasonry is Americanism? It's Pharaoh. 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 Pharaoh.
It symbolizes the inevitability of your end.
They worship
The
death.
British Army had travelling lodges that moved with regiments. Freemasons have served their countries and communities with distinction.
Freemasons met across the Union and Confederate divide to celebrate their common rituals.
And today,
Okay. What am I supposed to say?
Freemasonry remains an active part of military life in many countries.
Space Force.
Freemasonry has burned as a blazing fire through the last 3 centuries.
Ashkenaz to spread fire.
The driving force behind the Royal Society.
Royal Society, they made up dinosaurs and all that, and evolution, Darwinism. What came first, dinosaurs or Darwinism? The electronical boy or Homo erectus? Oh no, the fossilized footprints in the fossil record don't have a line of thrust that ain't consistent with compression. What did he just say? Save all the hippie shite for art class. Okay, Tex-ish. Fire of Ptah. Blazing fire through the centuries.
Was initiated into Freemasonry
Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, father of Queen Victoria, and Prince Augustus, Duke of Sussex. The two princes brought their feuding Grand Lodges together and reconciled to be the United Grand Lodge of England.
King
The United States of Freemasonry. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm going to keep going.
George IV, William IV, Edward VII, Edward VIII, and George VI were all Freemasons, as were 18 dukes and princes, including the Duke of Edinburgh.
This year, His Royal Highness Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, celebrates his...
That's all solid gold. People want to claim it's not real. It's because they know nothing. That's solid gold. Vaults full of solid gold. Vaults like that are in these Mormon temples. their granite fortresses because of that.
50th year as Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England.
His Royal Highness was proposed into Freemasonry by the then Grand Master, the Earl of Scarborough.
He was initiated into Royal Alpha Lodge number 16, an advocate for the craft all over the world, continuing 3 centuries of distinguished royal tradition at the very heart of English Freemasonry.
300 years.
Order, brethren, to receive the most worshipful, the Grand Master.
Oh, who's that? I wonder who that is. Let's see. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
3 lodges, I now call on my deputy masters.
I think that's either that Prince Edward guy again or the Rothschild guy. Their voices sound very similar, by the way, for a reason.
Most worshipful Grand Master. Most worshipful Grand Master.
Most worshipful Grand Master.
Remember when certain people say that the El Elyon, the Elohim of Scripture, isn't a worshipful Elohim? Wonder what those people deem worshipful.
Worshipful Grand Master, I humbly ask you to complete.
Get on your knee. Oh, they're kneeling for the flag. Those very, very rude people. They don't believe in America. They're kneeling to the worshipful Grand Master. Do you understand?
The initiation of this worthy candidate for Freemasonry.
Adorn our ceremonies and forever remind us of our incomparable heritage, the birth of organized Freemasonry,
stressing the deep and sincere loyalty and affection felt by the brethren of the United Grand Lodge of England.
Pay attention to the phenotypes.
For their Grand Master.
I had the pleasure of meeting 136 Grand Masters visiting from overseas at Freemasons Hall yesterday. Today, though, we are a meeting of more than 4,000, gathered from all around the world, from our own constitution and beyond.
Our own constitution. 1,000 points of light. What did he say? 1,000 points of light. What was that about? George Bush Sr.? I don't know. 1,000 points of light.
When the global Masonic family comes together to celebrate our past and to renew our own pride and confidence in and enthusiasm for Freemasonry.
I hereby read the text of a letter sent today to Buckingham Palace. May it please your Majesty, we, the representatives of over 200,000 Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England, most respectfully express our continuing loyalty to your Majesty's throne and person in this, the 66th year of your long and distinguished reign. Of His Royal
Never doubt
Highness
the
Duke
worm.
of Kent, as our much loved and greatly respected Grand Master.
Do you understand what Pink Floyd is? Good morning, the worm, your honor. The crown will plainly show the prisoner who now stands before you was caught red-handed, showing feelings. Feelings of an almost human nature. This will not do. Why? Because that's not the mark of a beast.
We humbly thank God for preserving our order and fervently pray His blessings on your Majesty.
Gad is Hebrew for spoil, dividing the spoil. Gadzilla.
So that our loyal devotion to your Majesty may long continue. Given at the Royal Albert Hall this 31st day of October, Anno Domini 2017. Her Majesty has been pleased to reply in the following terms. The Queen.
So this is the actual Queen of England statement, the last Queen of England.
The Queen has asked me to thank you for your kind letter of loyal greetings on behalf of the representatives of the Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England, which are being celebrated on the 31st of October at the Royal Albert Hall.
Come on, 31st of October.
Her Majesty appreciated your thoughtfulness in writing as you did.
We leave the Royal Albert Hall even more proud of our ancient institution.
Worldwide, Freemasonry remains as important and relevant as ever. A global society of perhaps 6 million people.
Sounds a little high, 6 million, but isn't it interesting how it's been said in media, even for the Iraq war, before World War I and II, and even afterwards, they use 6 million over and over. They claimed Saddam Hussein had threatened to gas people, and it would be up to 6 million gassed. That's in actual newspapers about Iraq. Perhaps 6 million Freemasons. Jeez. Now you know where the number comes from. It's Kabbalistic. Who are the Kabbalists? The Mormons. And
as the globe embraced Freemasonry, enlightenment came.
I may not agree with what you say, but I shall defend to the death your right to say it.
oh man, that has been the phrase of death for millions of Americans.
None is more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free.
Coat of arms of Donald Trump. What does it actually represent?
Well, this is rather interesting, actually. This is an arcane Scottish heraldic law.
Arcane. See, this is yeah, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is the same thing. That naked Trump statue had a Freemasonic ring on it. That's why they got so mad about that. I don't have to show this clip, actually. I'll just describe what it was, because I don't know if it... I didn't check that one for copyright. But basically, Freemasons... Oh, I can show it. You know what? Where's the chip? Let me see if I can find it. Come on. It's literally the Freemasonic program for chips in your body for your children.
The Sonic Chip program uses modern police-approved techniques to create a child identification kit.
And we take fingerprints. We also provide them with a swab for getting a DNA swab. And we also provide them with imprint where they can get an imprint of the child's teeth. So not only does it provide DNA as well as a swab, but it is also a source if you were using tracking dogs to provide a scent for the child.
You may be surprised to see who we found using tricks to cover up their license plates.
Apparently, they're law enforcement.
You know, in Hollywood and in the industry and the stuff we do, there's a lot of like insider secrets to keeping your career going, and a lot of insider secrets to making things tick.
MTV. Oh, Jake and the Boaz. There it is. Look at that. Apocalypse 1. This video was originally posted. This video was originally posted by a YouTube that its handle was Apocalypse 1. And when I restarted all this, I called it Apocalypse Noah. Isn't that interesting? Pretty crazy. So Freemasons years ago, 2017, before 2017, before 2019, that's for sure. Freemasons had a program to track the children of Freemason. Isn't that interesting? Try to tell people about these things. And they want to swab your dental records. Could track them down with dogs. Get your smell on something so that if they have to, they can track you down with dogs. It's very interesting. I find that interesting. So what was I going to do next here? Where's... All right. So I'll go over the Aleppo thing when I do the... I printed out a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to do alphabet, just going through all the different roots and stuff, and telling you, because it basically seems like they have taken the 77 forms that come out of Aleph, and they make it 77 years in a master Kabbalist life. And if you align it to Trump's, it's very interesting, especially with numbers like the 45th and 47th, which would be his presidential numbers if he's elected again. They have to do with something very interesting, but I'm not going to say that until I get to it. So you're going to figure out why Gary Johnson asked, what is Aleppo? If you're on the Telegram already, you should know. And then MAGA is actually what is like international trade, like Ma Gimel, but it also could be Ma Goyim, mother to, or the Goyim maid servants. It's Magos, which is a Greek or Spanish magician, and it's MAGA. Magus is a high-level priest in the Church of Set. So we went over Nancy Sinatra thing. It's Church and Antichrist. So Church and Antichrist in that Kill Bill, I showed that already, because the Antichrist tries to kill the bride while she's pregnant, like the red serpent trying to consume the child in Revelation. It's all in there. I don't know if the guy's doing it on purpose. I don't know if he's trying to mock it and can't. I don't know what's going on. Because remember, Balaam tried to curse Israel, the true Israelites. And the Most High made it into a blessing. So you see how all these movies might be trying to actually curse the church, but it's like they can't. So APAC. Which one is that? APAC. I have to find it. Oops. I'll find it on here. I'll post it later so you guys can see it. What number is it? Oh, never mind. I can pull it up on Telegram. Give me a second. It's not a coincidence. Oh, all these pictures. I need these pictures too. Sorry, folks. Almost there. See if I can change it here. Oh. Apak means to control or restrain. So let me pull up some pictures here. Real quick, because there's two APACs. And sorry, the technology has a lot of trouble while I'm streaming. I have to be patient with it. You can hear me clicking, so you know I'm doing something. Come on. So here's the first one. Hopefully it's not too big. All right. There's APAC. You can see the letters. It's the 5-pointed star intertwined with the star of Remphan, and it says connected for good. And it's Freemason country, America, and Soviet Israel. So let me put this up right here so you can see that APAC. And let me put up the second APAC. Remember Arpakshad? That's just something that poly is meant to sound like, because that's wordplay when you make it sound like it. Okay, where is... Here it goes. Here it goes. And then there's APAC. So, China, Australia, India, Turkey, Singapore. The people who are going to help with the Belt on Road initiative. There's going to be a new Silk Road. So, Asia, Pacific, whatever. So that's one APAC here, is the Asia Pacific here. And then this one is the hub of it. So remember, it's going to be Russia, China, India, controlled by Soviet Israel. So there you go. 2 APACs. Isn't that a coincidence? And what's more of a coincidence is it's a Hebrew root. Let us see. Let's see here. So APAC means to control or restrain. It corresponds with an Arabic verb that means to excel. See how they can get this accomplished by fooling the perception of a certain people. Excel, but clearly refers to self-discipline and restraint. It's surprisingly rare in scriptures. It describes Joseph, who was controlling his emotions when he met his brothers again. Likewise, Haman, who controlled his anger against Mordecai so that he can plot a genocide. These are where in scripture this word is used. They do this on purpose. Or maybe not, who knows? Through Isaiah, Yahweh declares the suspension of his silence and restraint. And the prophet wonders whether Adonai would even restrain his compassion and indignation. 1 Samuel 13:12, King Saul attempts to explain to Samuel why he had burnt the offering instead of explaining why he had not restrained his audacity to pass over the man of God. He explains that he had restrained his fears, it's implied, and went ahead and dapperly did what needed to be done. That, of course, cost him the kingdom. The ends justify the means. Never again, never forget. That's written on the Freedom Tower, the new Trade Center. Obama wrote on it, "When we fall, we build again stronger," or something like that. Build back better, make America great again. A peak, kind of like a pig. A peak means channel or conduit. Currency, streams, live streams. Any sort of way in which a liquid is confined and guided. Since proverbially living in water is typically not piped or since proverbially living water is typically not piped or controlled, such a facility may be deemed negative. You understand? It says this in Job, my brothers have acted deceitfully like a pipe. In other words, you can dig a well and somebody can, or let's just say oil, that's simpler. You dig a well of oil, somebody can tap into it and take it all out. So this is what that is. This is what APAC means. It means they're deceitful like a pipe that can take your resources from under you without buying it from you or doing anything. You just distract them while you do it. It's interesting, a lot of pipeline stuff with Russia and the Middle East, isn't there? What is Aleppo? Okay, our words apply to the mighty, but translations struggle to make sense. Read strength, mighty, blah, blah, Belter Girdle. Belter Girdle, Belton Road Initiative. Isn't that interesting? This brings to mind the antics of Agabus. Behemoth was said to have bronze tubes for bones. Psalmist declared the foundations of the world were laid bare when the waters of emotional chaos, that's how they view it, were caught in pipes and channeled off. Perhaps likewise the deer pants for such orderly channels of water, and the channels of the Negev likewise stream tears. Tears in Niobe. See, just like the groom's eyes are doves beside streams of water. Contrarily, civilizations which have managed to domesticate and channel all their water via pipes and channels may find natural forces or enemy armies bent on their destruction. So that natural chaos yet again ensues. Very interesting, isn't it? So that is APAC, what it means in Hebrew, and you have APAC 1. If my mouse will click on it, there you go, APAC 1. Look at all the green on that map. Look at all the green on that map. That's APAC 1, control, restrain. And look at that one, APAC, control and restrain, Beltone Initiative. You can't make this up. Fourth World Wilderness. Look these things up. Type in on your Obama phone. Homeless man or whoever's watching in apparently Moscow, Kiev, and St. Petersburg. Look it up. Just type it in your phone. Fourth World Wilderness. Rockefeller. You might be able to find it that way. But I can post things on Telegram. 36 minutes. Got to a good amount. Oh, I put the APAC in the folder. Do I have anything else in here? Theological. What's this one? What's this one? Oh, that's APAC. It's the one above it. Galal means rolling. Why did I put Galal? Oh, did I tell you guys about Gogoleth? Google? I don't think I did. And if I did, I can repeat it in this last part here. And maybe this can be the last one. And then I can go over the Rome, Maryland clip again. Yeah, I think I might end it with this. It might just be 3 parts. So Galal and Gil. Galal is about rolling. And what happens when you look for something on Google, the little thing rolls while it's loading the page. Can't make this up. Gal means heap or pile, heap of ruins, meaning dung. Gel, gel, hair dung. These are all things that have to do with Google, heaping up things. Gula, meaning bowl or basin or spring. Galal, meaning dung again. Manure, remember it's sorting through manure too. Galil, meaning turning or folding. To explain the statement made in 1 Kings that 2 leaves of a door were turning or folding. It's very interesting. Galil denoting a supporting cylinder or rod or a ring. 1 ring to rule them all. It's interesting the bending thing, because that's what cop means. To surround, but also to bend you to their authority. Bend the knee, bring them to heel, all that stuff. Gelila is meaning a circuit, boundary, or territory to the ends of the earth. Gilul, meaning idols. Google. Dung things. Galgal, meaning wheel or whirlwind. They have sown wind, they'll reap the whirlwind. The wheel within a wheel. All this stuff is what they're insinuating with Google. Remember Google's original catchphrase was, don't be evil. Like, okay. Don't think I would be told that, but okay. Gilgal, meaning wheel. Gulgoleth. This is literally Google. Gulgoleth is meaning skull or head. It's where Messiah was crucified. Means the place of the skull because it was tradition that Adam's skull was there. Google's starting to make a lot more sense, isn't it? The noun panim meaning face, pana meaning to turn. Skull. Megillah. Megillah, scroll. Eat this scroll. Megillah. Galal, meaning account. Slow effort could be attached to the above. Meaning account. So make an account on Google. Google account. Circular motion, expressing joy or celebration. Google will do that. There should be different celebrations in their logo. Gil, meaning rejoicing. Gila, meaning rejoicing. Circle or age. Son of circle. Ben Gilu. So, and Abigail, these are all the Galilee. So basically a circling and a rejoicing. Why? Because you're reaping all the information being fed into it. Googleth. What does all that information and control and totalitarianism do? It attempts to murder Messiah. Googleth. This is not a coincidence. You have been warned. You've always been warned. There's no excuse. It's not like you can tell God on the last day, I didn't know. So let me read this. This is where I'll end it. I was going to show something, though. I forgot what I was going to show. Anyway. So this is Gog. Remember, Gog is rooftop. Magog is agent of Gog. So what do we put on our rooftop? Antennas, satellites. Who is the agent of the satellites? A reality TV host would be a perfect one, like Trump. Mark of the exalted mouth. Like sweating in my earbuds. So, here we go. I'll end with this. Word of Yehovah came to me, son of Adam, set your face towards Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Meshech is the ones who push along, and Tubal is to acquire a spear. So it's set your face towards the rooftop, to the land of the agent of the rooftop, America. Magog, Maga. The chief prince of the one who pushes forward with a spear. Meshech and Tubal. Ones who move along, Meshech, media, and Tubal, the spear, tribunals, and prophesy against him and say, the website I get a lot of the etymology stuff from claims that the Gog, Magog, Meshech, Tubal thing would sound something like literally the chief of the occupied zone, which is the world. And the U.S. was given the occupied zone in Germany and in Europe right after the war. But anyway. Prophesy against him and say, thus says Adonai Yehovah, behold, I am against you, O Gog, chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. I will turn you about and put hooks in your jaws, and I will bring you out. So this is against the will, hardening the heart of somebody who is already a blasphemer. And all your army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed in full armor, a great host, all of them with buckler and shield, wielding swords. Persia, Cush, and Put are with them. Look up Putin and African armies. Gomer, that is Anatolia, Turkey, and all his hordes. Beth Togarma, that's the Balkans and Anatolia, Turkey. From the uttermost parts of the north with all his hordes, that is the Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, Russia. Be ready and keep ready, you and all your hosts that are assembled about you, and be a guard for them. After many days you will be mustered. In the latter years you will go against a land that is restored from war, a land whose people were gathered from many peoples upon the mountains of Israel, which had been a continual waste. Its people were brought out from the peoples, and now dwell securely, all of them. You will advance, coming like a storm. This can be like World War II, because there was relatively a lot of peace there before they did the whole transfer agreement and the Palestine Mandate. You will advance, coming on like a storm. Stormtroopers. Hitler literally had stormtroopers. You will be like a cloud covering the land, you and all your hordes and many peoples with you. Thus says Adonai Yehovah, on that day thoughts will come into your mind, and you will devise an evil scheme and say, I will go up against the land of unwalled villages. I will fall upon the quiet people who dwell securely, all of them dwelling without walls. These are tent-dwelling people. These are Bedouins. And having no bars or gates, to seize the spoil and carry off plunder. Gulf War. Iraq invasion. To turn your hand against the waste places that are now inhabited, and the people who were gathered from the nations who have acquired livestock and goods who dwell at the center of the earth. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish and all its leaders will say to you, this is literally Greece and Spain and yeah. And all its leaders will say to you, have you come to seize spoil? Have you assembled your host to carry off plunder, to carry away silver and gold, to take away livestock and goods and seize great spoil? Therefore, son of Adam, prophesy and say to Gog, thus says Adonai Yehovah, on that day when my people Israel are dwelling securely, will you not know it? You will come from your place out of the uttermost parts of the north, you and many peoples with you, all of them riding on horses. Remember, these names ended up meaning vehicles. So the etymology-wise, language-wise, it's still horses if it's tanks or any of these things. Out of the north is the northern tribes in Hitler and freaking Norway and Russia in World War II, and the Soviets collapsed into Palestine. It's Soviet Israel. You will come up against my people like a cloud covering the land. In the latter days I will bring you against my land, that the nations may know me. Remember, all the 10 kings have the same mind? To fulfill God's word, to give all their authority to the beast, because the beast is AI. And the AI can be used by anything. It's so vulnerable to the spirit world. When through you, O Gog, I vindicate my holiness before their eyes. Part of it is people like me saying this stuff before it happens. You gotta understand. It's vindicating. Thus says Adonai Yehovah, are you he of whom I spoke in former days by my servant the prophets of Israel, who in those days prophesied for years that I would bring you against them? But on that day, the day that Gog shall come against the land of Israel, declares Adonai Yehovah, my wrath will be roused in my anger. For in my jealousy and in my blazing wrath, I declare, on that day there shall be a great earthquake in the land of Israel. The fish of the sea and the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep on the ground and all the people who are on the face of the earth shall quake at my presence. And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the cliffs shall fall, and every wall shall tumble to the ground. Oh, tax dollars wasted. I will summon a sword against Gog on all my mountains, declares Adonai Yehovah. Every man's sword will be against his brother. With pestilence and bloodshed I will enter into judgment with him. Now I will rain upon him and his hordes and the many peoples who are with him torrential rains and hailstones, fire and sulfur. 9/11 maybe? I don't know. So I will show my greatness and my holiness and make myself known in the eyes of many nations. Then they will know that I am Yehovah. That I am the one in the lifestyle. That's what his name means. The one who is still yet moving. Superposition. You can never hit something like that. And you, son of Adam, prophesy against Gog and say, thus says Adonai Yehovah, behold, I am against you, O Gog, chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn you about and drive you forward. The word here is drag you along and bring you up from the uttermost parts of the north and lead you against the mountains of Israel. Then I will strike your bow from your left hand, and I will make your arrows drop out of your right hand. You shall fall in the mountains of Israel, you and all your hordes, and the peoples who are with you. I will give you to birds of prey and every sort, and the beasts of the field to be devoured. You shall fall in the open field, for I have spoken, declares Adonai Yehovah. I will send fire on Magog and on those who dwell securely in the coastlands. California. And they shall know that I am Yehovah. Fire. That's interesting. They claim that California is on a giant super volcano. And my holy name I will make known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not let my holy name be profaned anymore. And the nations shall know that I am Yehovah, the Holy One in Israel. Behold, it is coming, and it will be brought about, declares Adonai Yehovah, that is the day of which I have spoken. Then those who dwell in the cities of Israel, Yisrael, will go out and make fires of the weapons and burn them, shields and bucklers, bow and arrows, clubs and spears, and they will make fires of them for 7 years, so that they will not need to take wood out of the field or cut any of the forests. It's very interesting. So then it goes over a long ritual of a ritual purification of burying the hordes of Gog. Very interesting. And I will set my glory among the nations, and all the nations shall see my judgment I have executed, and my hand I have laid on them. House of Israel shall know that I am Yehovah their Elohim from that day forward, and the nations shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they dealt so treacherously with me that I hid my face from them and gave them into the hand of their adversaries, and they all fell by the sword. I dealt with them according to their uncleanness and their transgressions, and hid my face from them. And then it talks about restoring it in the new temple, the real new temple. Very interesting stuff, isn't it? I can't see this Space Force logo. That's weird. I was going to show the Space Force logo. Oh yeah, let's go over that video at the end here. This one. Okay, so my mic's on, and I can turn the music on a little bit. Turn like halfway. All right, I'm gonna read this to you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Let me do it right here. Oops. There's the Rome, Maryland. Come on. Here we go. Okay. Let me get myself over here. Rome, Maryland here. Alright, so George Washington, full Masonic attire, laying the cornerstone U.S. Capitol, 1793. Actually, I'm going to turn this music off for now. It's bugging me. Alright. So I want to go through this because I think it's important. Triple Tau, remember? Triple Tau, 666. These things are there for a reason. Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, Goddess of Witchcraft. Original name was Rome, Maryland. And a branch of the Potomac River was called the Tiber Creek, which is named after the Tiber River in Rome, Tiberius Kirk, James Tiberius Kirk. Like Rome, Washington, D.C. has 7 hills. It's the beasts, whose names are Capitol Hill, Meridian Hill, Floral Hill, maybe somebody got shot, Forest Hills, Hillbrook, Hillcrest, and Knox Hill. School of Hard Knocks. Isn't that interesting? So you can see this map of Washington, D.C. and the Jesuit Bishop John Carroll, interesting, was probably the richest man in America in the late 1700s. So he's the rich. Remember, they can just come in. That's what I told you this country's for. Carroll allowed funding to construct D.C., which is nicknamed Rome on the Potomac. December 1790, Maryland ceded land selected by President George Washington to federal government for the creation of Washington, D.C. The land provided to Washington, D.C. actually sitting inside of the state of Maryland. Is actually sitting. So it's not a state. It's the Vatican. It's Crete, Caftor, capital. Or what a free man is, Pharaoh. Daniel Carroll. It's interesting they use Semitic names. Was the chairman of a three-man commission appointed by President George Washington to find a suitable location for the capital city. A signer of the Declaration of Independence, Daniel Carroll was a Roman Catholic, educated by Jesuits in Maryland and France. Remember, Francis the Amalekites. To the Vatican. His brother John Carroll became the first Catholic bishop in America, presiding over the See of Baltimore, which included Washington, D.C., and John Carroll also founded Georgetown University. So all this stuff connects to each other in the end. But sadly, it seems only Moscow, Russia, and all the bad people care about what I have to say. All right, Rome, Maryland, again, was the original name. The community. Homesteaders, probably. With it, see how anything can go bad? Within Prince George's County, they already call it Prince George's County in Maryland, which would eventually become Washington, District of Columbia. Remember, there was Washington, George, King of England, Washington, General of America. The name of the Capitol Hill, United States Capitol Building sits in 1663. The property that would become Capitol Hill site was inscribed in the Maryland property records as Rome. Its owner, a man named Francis Pope. Oh, now we have Pope Francis. It's a coincidence. The southern boundary of this property was shaped by a river named for the river that runs through Rome, Italy, the Tiber. James Tiberius Kirk. Tiberius was the one who was emperor when Messiah was crucified. It's not a coincidence. The community, Rome, Maryland, REM, sleep, was part of the 10-mile square tract of land which would become the American capital, Washington, D.C., and its owner, Daniel Carroll, transferred the community to the federal government after the amendment to the United States Constitution sanctioning the building of the new United States capital city was ratified. So, yeah, it's interesting. They note that our Capitol building and the obelisk look just like the Vatican, which is the same as probably London, I would say. And it also looks like a giant male member. The Capitol building being the seed, and then the courtyard being the shaft, and the obelisk being the panache. You can't make this up, but see how the Vatican has the male and female. That's why America is the beast with the horns like a lamb, speaks like a dragon. So I think I'm going to end it there. That was pretty interesting. If I feel like it, I could do some Metroid today. But if not, I'm not going to do anything else today. Tomorrow or Thursday, I'm going to start the streams on Aleph. And then next will be Beth, and then Gimel. I'll just keep going until whenever. So, let me turn that music back on. Remember that if you stand in Messiah, nothing is bigger than you. You're literally fifth dimensional, and everything is within you, and you own it. Baruch Hashem Yahavah Sodai. Baruch Hashem HaKadosh Ben Elohim Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen.